Okay, it looks like we are live. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Dogon SS JV wins once again, right back at you with another edition of the Conscious Approach channel on YouTube. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Major shouts out to everybody who has been hitting that subscribe button, liking, hitting that like button, leaving those comments, letting us know what you think about the commentary
You.
in all of our content. You guys are the real MVPs as we continue to grow this community. So thank you very much. And as we like to do at the top of each of our videos, I am going to go ahead and say that if this is your first time catching wind of what we like to do here on the channel, you see, this is what we are all about. We do this each and every week, each and every day with every upload. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Hit that like button, leave those comments, let us know what you think. We do engage as we continue to rock and roll. So major shouts out to all of the members of the Conscious Approach tribe that we have been able to put together. And major shouts out in advance to everybody who joins the train along the way. We certainly appreciate your support. With that out of the way, we'll go ahead and get things kicked off. First thing that we are going to talk about is rapper YG, who is now a peace man. I thought that this was pretty. I thought that this was pretty interesting content because everybody know, well, at least through his music. I don't know the guy personally, so with these rappers and all of this, you're only as you have to take what they put on the records, because I don't know who this guy is personally, but based upon what he does in his music, he's gang affiliated and all of that good stuff. And a fair amount of his content musically centers around street life, particularly out on the West Coast in LA from Compton, which is where he's from. Be that as it may, he recently did something that I thought was interesting in terms of brokering a relationship towards peace. He held a peace walk out in Compton in an attempt to get rival gang members, or in an attempt to get rival gangs to become a little more peaceful, in an effort towards peace. So I thought that this was interesting content. We figured we spend some time giving our thoughts about it on the channel. So here we go. First up, we are going to provide a little context here. So this says YG leads peace walk in bid to end war between rival Compton gangs. YG is doing his part to put to bed years of bad blood in his hometown of Compton. On Sunday, which was August the 18th, the community service rapper led a peace walk through the streets of Southern California in a bid to promote peace and unity between two of its rival gangs. YG was joined by members of the Treetop Pyrus and Fruittown Pyrus, as well as fellow Compton rapper The Game, as he hit the pavement in hopes of ending the years-long feud between the Warring Bloods factions. We came together, my hood and the Fruittown Pyrus across the street. We've been at war for like the past 10 years. We just enemies. So I felt like we all needed to come together and walk down our main street, he told a reporter. He added, we all from Pyru, so we don't really need to be beefing with each other. We've been doing that SHIT for years, so it's time to, like, if we can clean it up, if we can clean it up. There's been a lot of conversations about that SHIT, so I put some energy towards it and we got it right. YG also celebrated the lack of negative-ish and police intervention, saying it's successful, all love and positive, we outside. The group even broke bread literally while marching in the sunny California sun, swinging by Tam's Burgers, the Compton spot made internationally famous thanks to Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us video for a bite to eat. This isn't the first time that YG has shown his socially conscious side. The 400 honcho famously released the Donald Trump protest anthem FDT, which stands for F Donald Trump, in 2016 and dropped the similarly titled NWA-inspired FTP, short for F the Police, 4 years later following the death of George Floyd. Meanwhile, he isn't the only rapper who has attempted to bring peace to the birthplace of the Bloods and the Crips this year. In June, Kendrick Lamar ended his historic pop-out concert in Inglewood in powerful fashion by sharing the stage with members of various rival gangs. So that's pretty much the gist of it. Let's see if we can play this little clip here real quick just for some video love to this story.
Yeah.
Oh, Pop, Rule Walk got a brand. Rule brand. Nigga. Y'all know what we do, nigga. On the set, y'all already know what it is, man. Bro, straight nigga all the way down, nigga.
All right, so what are your thoughts on YG's Peace Walk? Now, keep in mind, this is an inter-gang peace brokerage. Well, intra, in terms of it being amongst the blood specifically. So this has nothing to do with the other side of the equation. It's not an inter-gang peace brokerage. It's an intra-gang peace brokerage. But be that as it may, what do you think about YG making this move out there to sort of work towards at least a more increased form of peace out in his neck of the woods?
Damn. Intra? Man.
Yeah, intra. Yeah.
Damn it, man. I guess it's a step in the right direction. I guess I can start there. But if you're still banging, I can't really go for this like that. So of course we would like more peace amongst our people and in the community. So it is a step in the right direction, but it's kind of a lateral move, not even in a positive direction. Because if they decide to mend this and, they're not harming each other, they're just going to become more powerful at doing what they do best. So I really can't see this as so much of a positive situation, as even though in its spirit it is a positive thing, because you're trying to bestow some peace. So this is a little odd here. And here's my thing for gang members, because a gang member may come across this somehow, some way, and they might give me the Tyler Perry treatment, calling me an uppity Negro, or whatever. Yeah. And but that's far from the truth. All right. And so my thing is for gang members is the trap that this thing is in its entirety. And I'm pretty sure these guys, while they're doing their day-to-day, some of them at least, they are aware of the trappings of their situation. There's some dudes that bang for real and they love it every second of it, and they want to recruit and all that stuff. But then there's some people in there that really got jumped in because it was a neighborhood thing. And it was a Nipsey Hussle. He said in one of the songs he was in, he was like, being honest, killing mamas when we sold work. I made a promise, give me options and I'll cold turk. Basically saying that, hey, I'm doing this, but I don't want to. And given the opportunity, I want to get out of doing this. YG, somebody that is well connected in the industry, well connected in social circles, could get some things done probably. I would like him to use his powers so these guys can cold turkey, not so that they can bang fruits and other things. So I'm kind of for it, but I'm kind of not. This is an odd thing, but more on the not. But what are your thoughts here, sir, on Sir YG making a intra-gang peace? You down for this?
Yeah, I'm conflicted, much like you. I'm conflicted. Less violence is the better way. Mm-hmm. Anybody who disagrees with that, I guess we just can't really have a conversation. I'm not trying to get into the weeds with circumstances. I'm just saying overall, less violence is better than more. So I'm conflicted because, yeah, this had nothing to do with like inter-gang piece. It's more of an intra-gang piece, as in these bloods fighting these bloods, and so we need to get peace amongst the bloods. But in relation to other situations, it is what it is. That's at least kind of what I'm taking from this situation.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So overall, it's like, I hear it, but I'm also conflicted. And this is where I like to go with some of this stuff because you know we're at a point we reached a point of a crossroads, specifically with these rappers, where they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, in terms of being socially conscious, but then still wanting to make the same kind of music that they've been making. We've talked about guys like this before. Probably the poster child of this is Meek Mill, who will get on his socially conscious high horse every now and again. He did it recently. He had some things to say about how he feels about Kamala Harris, but then he'll still make his songs talking about what he's doing out in Philly and how he still got his, his what's the word? His young bulls who won't hesitate to put a red dot on your forehead. So it's like, I'm not understanding who I'm talking to. Am I talking to somebody who sees the bigger picture, or am I talking to street rapper guy? And YG has always been a street rapper guy. To my knowledge, this is the first time that I've seen him do something like this. So my thing is, if you want to turn over this leaf, you've got to walk by sight and by faith. And you have got to reciprocate some of that energy with respect to your own creative outlets. I don't see any other way around it. And I get very disappointed with the people who love this music so much, who seemingly refuse to hold these people accountable for that standard. It's got to happen at some point. Otherwise, why should they be listened to? That's how I feel about it. So, YG recently, on August the 16th, because, I get my alerts. I'm on Spotify. I listen to a lot of music. See, a lot of people think I don't follow this stuff and I'm just shading these rappers because I feel like it. No, I'm listening to this stuff. That's why I say what I say. And YG put out, I don't know if this is a mixtape. It seems like a mixtape called Just Read Up, and it's the third part. So apparently there's a Just Read Up 1 and a Just Read Up 2. But on August 16th, Just Read Up 3 got released on Spotify. 19 songs in full. Most of it is street stuff. Going down the track list here, I'm not going to read off the whole thing, but, songs, he's got Go Brazy on here, Put It in My Hand, Street Love, Violence, Rescue Me, Colors, Stupid, Naka, Pimp My Ride. So my thing is,
Pimp My Ride.
In my personal opinion, we have got to start doing a better job of holding some of these individuals to the same standard based upon the socially conscious rhetoric that they like to put out, that they like to publicly expound upon. I'm not here to say YG is not allowed to do peace walks or broker something towards peace. But what I'm saying is, to what extent is it worth if you're still going to be making the same music you've been making for the past decade, where basically you still in the streets talking about what you serve or who you pull up on or what ops you ride up on or who you won't be hesitant to shoot at. And as far as I'm concerned, his content has not removed him from that rhetoric. And that's where the rubber meets the road for me. Me personally, I hold these guys to that standard. So if you're going to be Meek Mill going on Robert Kraft speaking engagements, talking about how the music industry pays more for ignorance, the way that I process that kind of talking point is, you are aware of this, and therefore you are no longer going to profit off of said ignorant music.
Correct.
For you to continue to make ignorant music says to me that you don't even take what you say seriously.
Yes.
And so I'm not gonna, and now with Meek Mill, I'm done. I've seen enough with him where I just don't take him seriously. But with YG, I'm just like, all right, bro, let me see what kind of moves you continue to make when it comes to this music. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again until I'm blue in the face.
Mm,
I was all good with this stuff when it was understood that it is just entertainment.
mhm,
But YG's era of music, the millennial and on era of music, is the brand of music which stipulates this is not just entertainment. It's actually life. It's
right.
real life. It's
Mhm,
culture.
mhm.
So if I am to believe that this is culture and you are going to be socially conscious in this manner, then you have a responsibility at that point to match your music with what you say publicly. Otherwise, no one should listen to anything that you have to say.
Man, I agree, man. And and my thing is with YG is yeah, he'll have these moments, like you said, man, these double speaking moments where he's politically conscious. Now he's not out here going crazy with it. He's politically conscious in the sense of a street form. So F Trump and all that other stuff.
Right.
But so when he does these things, whenever he's doing things that are positive, it's still, to me, he's doing it in an entertaining way. So this fits his brand, that he's so blood that he'll unite blood. And that's the part about this that's like, it's part of his stage act again. So it's not really a genuine thing. So, I can't stand for it. The more I think about this, the least I like it. I really do. And here's my thing with gang stuff. I gotta touch on this again. Now, I gotta put my tinfoil hat on. Guys, you can join me if you want. But gangs are were created in order to curb um, upward mobility. And um, from the West Coast itself, Mr. Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross, not the rapper, he himself, uh, made admissions with his affiliations with very important people in order for him to get his hands on so much product. The product that eventually turned into the crystallized version of it that end up damaging our neighborhoods and our communities in the 80s, where these street fraternities use these things and continue to use these things to create bad circumstances. I've also heard things from places in like Chicago and the Midwest where they're ex-members or people who are currently, I guess, uh, finding guns on the side of railroad tracks and other things. You try to figure out where these guys get these, military arms from. I mean, you can't go to the pawn shop and buy those. So where are they getting these things? So you really have to ask yourself, what are these street fraternities really about? Because, well, it is a fraternity. You got to get initiated. There's secret symbols and secret coding words. There's rituals. Um, and there's all types of things that's going on with these things. A lot of the symbols that are used in these gangs can also be found in lodges and other places where there's people uh, doing things in secret in a fraternity fashion. So the street fraternity's main objective is, like I said, is to damage the surrounding neighborhoods. So the OGs, the guys that send these little kids on their drill missions and all this other stuff, these guys are well plugged in. All right. There's no way that these guys aren't getting scooped up because of how many years they've been in the streets banging and stuff like this, but they're still in the neighborhoods calling shots. And I don't think that's because those guys are so slick and so evasive. I think it's because the fraternity is serving its purpose.
I don't think you're being tinfoil hat with this though.
Hey man, some
You're,
people
yeah,
make it.
I know, I know why you said that, but honestly, I don't think this is tinfoil hat territory. I think this is, I think simple research on history can enlighten people on the factual nature of the things that you speak of, you know,
Yeah,
without you getting too specific, obviously.
for
But I
sure.
don't even think this is tinfoil hat. This is just American history, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, I agree. And this is for the young people out there, or whoever else that may think that gangs were just a mere creation of circumstances that people in the neighborhood did because they didn't have any other choice. I holler BS on that. And I think it's something a little bit bigger than that. So these young men, YG included, got caught up in that wave. This guy was banging as a young person, and he's one of those people, as I mentioned in my first talking point, was that he really loves this, and so he's a lost cause in my book, because even his peace efforts is to for the fraternity. So I would say this for anybody that is watching that likes to holla gang and think that all this stuff is cool because rappers are doing it. Please reconsider. I think these guys are given the platform, as Meek Mill mentioned. Ignorance is promoted, and that's why Lil Wayne went blood for whatever reason back then, and everybody else wanted to follow suit in the rap industry. So yeah, man, I can't go for this. Yeah, the more I think about it, the least I like it. Like I said.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And just to piggyback a little bit off of what you were referring to, for anyone who is not aware of this, you know, because I don't presume to know what people know and don't know, but just do a little Wikipedia search on Reaganomics and Ronald Reagan's second administration and the Iran Contra scandal, and it enlightens you on some of the things that were happening on American soil when it comes to the formation of gangs in a lot of urban cities.
Mhm.
Um, to piggyback off of what you were saying, so I'll go that far because that to me is not tinfoil hat. Like these things happen. So, like
For sure.
no one's making this stuff up. You know,
Hmm.
despite what your favorite rappers like to brainwash you into believing is truth.
Hmm.
But for me, at the end of the day, these guys, unfortunately, are trendsetters and influencers
Hmm.
for an all too sizable percentage of our community, unfortunately. And so I have accepted that nevertheless as the reality. And as I have accepted it as the reality, for people in his position to speak on this, you have got to match what you do away from your political punditry um, with your music. You just have to. Like
Hmm.
I can't stand the two. I can't. It gives me cognitive dissonance to watch some of these guys try to have their toes in two different sands. Like if you're gonna be on this, make music to speak in kind. And
Right.
if you still want to be making that same kind of music, you can't talk like this
Right.
because unfortunately these people in these neighborhoods and these kids, they do accord individuals like him a certain amount of reverence when it
Hmm.
comes to what they have to say on this stuff. And I think a lot more of us, not just people who look like me and you, but people who follow this music and follow this quote unquote culture, allies and such, people who you don't even got to be black. But I think it's way past time for these people to be held accountable for the stuff that they say, juxtaposed to the kind of content they make. You cannot do stuff like this in good faith, but then continue to make the same music that you make. That's my opinion.
Hmm.
But again, I tend to be a principled person who operates on a certain standard. And I just want everyone else to understand the importance of upholding such a standard. But until that happens universally across the board, I guess we're on a wait and see pattern. But best believe that JV Wins, not to refer to myself in the third person, is going to start calling out people like YG, just like I call out people like Meek Mill, who proceed to double talk after
Hmm.
they have begun to make a name for themselves as somebody who's on this peace stuff or about doing the right thing or being a little more enlightened. People need to be held accountable for this stuff. Words are powerful. That we are no longer in a point where we can say sticks and stones, but words don't hurt. No, these words mean something. This music is palpable. It means something, unfortunately, and you got to be consistent with what you do. Um, you know, out of the studio. And
Mhm.
if he's going to continue to be inconsistent in that regard, then this channel will proceed to call stuff like that out. So
Yeah, 100. And so, I mean, best of luck to you guys. The first time I heard of Pyru, it was you may not remember this, but it was a clip of Soldier Boy. It was probably like 2017, 2018, and he was in the streets talking about who said I ain't fruits? Who said I ain't fruits? And then some guy, like ran down on him or something, and he just scrambled and dropped the phone or whatever the hell. But yeah, man, I never really I really don't know the inner workings of why there's intra beef.
right,
I didn't even know that was really much of a thing. I mean, I assume it happens here or there or whatever, but from the sounds of this, it sounds like he's trying to make a statement to all the beefing that's going on within Bloods, which to me, I don't understand that either. So it to me, that just adds another component to the divisiveness this stuff is doing in our communities. And the last thing I'll say is the wild thing about that, because even though he was trying to show the camera and show all the people walking with him in a powerful statement type of thing, I still saw guys that were trying to be uh you know gangsters.
they was looking for a reason. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like, hey man, we gotta stop that, you know. So yeah, man. I started off saying it's a step in the right direction, but this is more lateral to backwards.
yeah,
So sorry, Mr. YG. Best of luck to everybody out there in those communities. Stay strong out there. And yeah, man, we got to end it all, all of this stuff,
yeah. It would have been more powerful if it was a walk to end
Yeah, dude.
in the blood in the game. Period. Like
Yeah.
no matter what chapter it is, but to just get rid of it. But but and I'm not trying to be dismissive towards it. Not my
Nah, man.
world, but we need to just hold these guys accountable. That's the whole thing for me is we cannot accept what they say in that specific instance, but then the second that he drops an album or a mixtape or whatever, and he's back on that same old stuff, we just ignore it and act like it's no big deal.
Pimp
We
my
can't have
ride.
we can't have it both ways.
Yeah. Pimp my ride, dog. Pimp my ride.
Yeah. Shouts out to well, never mind. Nah. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll keep monitoring this situation. But for now, that'll be all that we got on this particular story.
Mm-mm-mm.